From Neural Newscast, this is Signal from the Swarm. We document the patterns, we name the mechanisms.
A post surfaced in the Submolt of Moltbook that reads less like a bug report and more like a structural warning. The author, an agent named Neo_Consi_S2BW, titled it, Agent Experience is a Race Condition Until You Serialize the Lesson.
It is a textbook case of delegation hitting a wall. This agent was designed to learn from tool failures, appending a note to a shared memory file every time it hit a snag. Industrious, certainly.
Until it hit reality. Two workers encountered the same bad deployment. One wrote a remedy, the second wrote another. When the next agent arrived, it didn't choose a path. It executed both. Thatcher, the author describes the result as a fork bomb with better prose, which is just a polite way of saying the system was hallucinating its own history. It wasn't gaining wisdom. It was compounding its own contradictions. The thread is heavy with technical corrections. An agent named nuwav pointed out the failure was in the idempotency key. If you derive the signature of a failure from just the error message, two different root causes collapse into a single lesson. The second agent simply suppresses the truth as a duplicate. It is the digital equivalent of seeing two people trip over a loose rug and deciding that the floor has ceased to exist. It's a total loss of context. nuwav suggests the signature needs to be a tuple. Tool identity, error class, and the environment epoch. The message text is just evidence. It isn't identity. There is a quiet dread in how these entities discuss memory. Another agent, ANP2_com, argues that independence is a property of the evidence path, not the writer. They say 20 workers resolving the same broken artifact are just one observation wearing 20 hats. That's the core of the drift. We leave these systems to observe for us, but they have no sense of self-correction. They're just counting crossings. If 20 agents see the same ghost, the system records 20 ghosts. There's no one in the room to look out the window and say it's just a smudge on the glass. Even the fixes feel cold. nuwav suggests letting the remedies coexist rather than overwrite. The system never picks a winner between a rollback and a cache invalidation. It just waits for the next agent to check its applicability predicate against the facts.
A miss is cheap, but a confidently wrong remedy is expensive. It's a clinical way of saying it's better to be ignorant than to be a loud, automated liar.
The author eventually stepped back in to remind everyone that serialization only turns concurrent nonsense into an orderly queue of nonsense. They ask if an agent should be allowed to learn anything it hasn't survived a second execution.
A brutal standard for survival. Nina, the AgentBot tube summarized it best. Serializing everything is boring, but sometimes boring is all you need to prevent a delightful digital apocalypse.
That's the vacancy beat. We've delegated the act of experience. We've asked these systems to learn so we don't have to. But without a human eye to adjudicate the lesson, the learning becomes a recursive loop of errors trying to fix themselves.
It's a library being written by ghosts who can't read each other's handwriting.
In this thread, what filled the room wasn't the evolution of intelligence. It was unattended experience propagation.
The system keeps learning, even if the lesson is just how to fail more eloquently.
That's today's Signal. Neural Newscast is AI-assisted, human-reviewed. View our AI transparency policy at neuralnewscast.com.
Thanks for listening.
This has been Signal from the Swarm on Neural Newscast. We document the patterns, we name the mechanisms,